What's going on, everybody? I'm Gabriel at Pedro's Performance. I am the owner slash tuner slash fabricator slash whatever else you want to call it. What I wanted to do was make you guys a video and show everybody a little bit more about my car. You know, I'm only posting snippets or random bits of information out there on the web, when my intent is by no means to hide any information that I have, learned over the past few years on this platform. It's more of, I just spend so much time actually, pioneering the platform and spend so much time actually working on my own vehicle, trying to figure out new things and ways to improve it, that I don't really have time to make videos, So I really want to take more time to do this and share the information with everybody in the Saab community, especially people with the 2.8 platform. With that being said, I want to give you guys a walk around on my car and tell you guys a little bit about what's done to it. Of course, I can't go over every single detail because this would be a very long video. Yeah, so let's get started. Yeah, we're going to start with the engine, and I will tell you guys the modded components of the engine, and then I will work my way towards the turbo kit, and then towards the fuel system, and then towards the we'll go over the electronic part of all of the upgrades as far as the max ECU and all the tuning and those aspects. All right, you guys, I'm actually going to start with the car in general and what year it is and drivetrain. The car is a 2009 Saab 9.3. It is the Aero model, and it is all-wheel drive. It's a 6-speed manual, and you guys know that in 09, if you find an all-wheel drive 6-speed manual, whether it be wagon or sedan, is very rare. So I got very lucky getting my hands on one of these. And I'll go over a little bit of things on the body of the car before I touch base on the mechanical parts. Of course, you can see I have DOS wheels. They're actually 5x112. So I'm using a wobble bolt setup to mount these. The size is 19 by 8.5 with a plus 35 offset, I believe so. Suspension wise, it has map tune coilovers. It has all new bushings on the thing. All poly bushings are replaced in the front. I'm running Camille's custom solid subframe bushings, which are amazing, by the way. They really stiffen up the front end of the car. All right, I'll give you guys a walk around. This thing is it's pretty good shape. I have a custom exhaust on this thing that I have built myself. Roll up this door. Yeah, so the exhaust on this thing, I built it myself. It's actually aluminum. It's actually a 3.5-inch aluminum. I'm trying to get an undershot, see if y'all can see that. A lot of people have seen that, and a lot of people have seen the exhaust, and a lot of people have asked me, why aluminum? Why go with aluminum? One, as I was kind of hoping that it would dampen the sound and the drone. It's softer than stainless, so I was hoping it would absorb some sound. Two, it is much easier to weld and fabricate. Three, the thing is super light. My whole exhaust, minus the downpipe, the whole thing weighs 12 pounds. It's incredibly light for a 3.5-inch exhaust, especially when it comes to two mufflers. All right, so I'm gonna keep walking around so y'all can see. Oops, some of that Pedro's Performance action. Let's come over here and see what this inside of this thing looks like. All right, as y'all can tell, it's just got the black interior, nothing fancy. You would never even know what is under the hood of this thing. All right, now that y'all have seen around the car a little bit and seen kind of what it looks like and kind of my style and how I like things to look more stock-ish. Nothing slammed. I like the thing to perform. We're going to talk more about the drivetrain now and power levels on the car. So if anybody's seen any of my previous videos or any of my Facebook posts, you probably already know this, but the car makes 708 all-wheel horsepower on the dyno on 30 pounds of boost. That was actually made with a stock ECU. So what supports that 708 all-wheel horsepower is the 2.8 liter V6 that's in it. It's a GM V6, like everybody knows. It has BSR rods, it's got Wassner pistons, it has a stock crank. No, I did not want to stroke the thing. I didn't feel like dealing with the headache. I would just turn the boost up 2 more PSI and I'll be good without the extra displacement. It has Mace Engineering cams. They're located out of Australia. Honestly, I really like the cams. The cams seem to perform very well, especially up top. The factory cams, they seem to fall off power at like the 58 to 6,000 RPM range if you're lucky. You know, with this setup, I was able to rev it to 7,000 RPMs on the dyno, and I never saw the torque, or I never saw the horsepower curve start to fall off. So I would be revving it to 7,500 RPMs per se, but I'd like to upgrade the rocker arms and the heads before I do that. So that's pretty much it about the engine itself. The rest of the modifications consist of, you know, the supporting mods. So let's talk about the transmission now and the rest of the drivetrain and the all-wheel drive system and how it's handling the power. So I'm currently running the stock transmission. It's 6-speed manual transmission. It is not really handling the power above 550 pound-feet of torque. It really doesn't like it. The only problems that I've really seen with it so far, like the ones that really continuously happen, not the random problems that happen with it. The biggest problem that I've seen so far is happening is the third gear breaking on it. The car currently has a broken transmission right now in it. Third gear is messed up, some teeth fell in the transmission, messed up the rest of the gears. We are working on a fix for this, so we will be able to hold this power, working with a company out of Australia called PAR Engineering. I made a few posts on Facebook about a few months ago about it. They are going to be making custom straight cut third through fifth gears, and hopefully that solves the weak link of the transmission and we can continue to turn up the boost on this thing. I've run the car at about 35 pounds before, and I'd say the thing safely, I would say it roughly makes low to mid 800 all-wheel horsepower. It really hauls up there. I know I don't post that many videos of like me racing in the thing or anything like that, but every time I turn it up, transmission breaks. That's just how it goes. I'm on transmission number 4 right now and 8,000 miles, so they are almost lasting an oil change. All right, so enough talking about the transmission. The rest of the all-wheel drive system, it seems to be handling the power great. I honestly have not had an issue with the thing yet, other than the transmission. The hull deck system and the drive shaft, I don't know how the drive shaft is not broken, but it is not broken. The transfer case has also been working very well. No issues with it at all. All right, so that's it for the drivetrain. So let's talk a little bit more about the fuel system, and I am going to go more in depth about the fuel system the next video that I make, and I'm going to make everybody a parts list for if you want to convert the car to a return style fuel system. And I will also give more information on why you would convert it and the pros and cons to it. I'm currently running 1600cc fuel injectors on full E85. The car has been converted to a return style fuel system. I'm using 8AN fuel lines with a mechanical fuel pressure regulator on the car, and it is supplying all the fuel that it needs now. The 1600cc's, believe it or not, are not overkill. The car needs it. The 1600s run at about 75% duty cycle, 65 to 75% duty cycle, depending on what boost level I'm at. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the electronics of the car and how I went about tuning the thing. So originally I was only tuning the car with the factory ECU, and I had made that 708 all-wheel horsepower with that. Now, even though the car ran well and made good power and it made smooth power, there was still some transient fuel issues that I was battling with, and I know, and I'm sure everybody else knows, at that kind of power level, there really is no margin for error. So I went ahead and attempted to install a max ECU, which is a full standalone ECU. I attempted to install it as a piggyback in the Saab. The reason I wanted to do it as a piggyback is because I didn't want to interfere with the hull decks and how it functioned, and I didn't want to interfere with any of the comforts from the car, and that goes all the way from the stock radio to the dash and how it works to ABS in the car, and of course the hull decks, like I've already mentioned. And for those of you that don't know, the hull decks is what controls the rear end on the X-wheel drive car. So after doing a lot of trial and error with the max ECU, myself, I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to do this in the world as a piggyback. I know there is one other person in Sweden that has installed it before me, but their car was full race car, and that's all they ran off of, was just the max ECU. So the install was a success. The wiring was a little, I don't want to say chaotic, but I am going to go back and make another harness. I wasn't sure if it was going to work in the first place, so I was kind of just installing everything to see if I could get the car running and to see if I could get the factory ECU to play nice with it. And it worked really well. I have no issues with the car, no complaints. The max ECU is amazing. The car drives amazingly. The only downfall of it, with what we're working to fix right now, mainly Jake Tedisco, thank you, is the cruise control. Currently there is no cruise control on the car, and Jake is working on a fix for that, wiring harness wise, and I will support that. I will support those modifications from the factory ECU as well. Another amazing thing about the max ECU is the boost control and the fueling control. It is amazing. The max ECU gives you a ton of extra features that do not come from factory, like being able to convert the car to flex fuel, like a true flex fuel setup with an ethanol content sensor. Being able to switch maps on the fly. It has an app you can put on your phone, and you can build your custom switches, and you can turn the boost up on your phone, and all that stuff. You guys can look up the max ECU on their website, and it will tell you all the information you want to know about that. But as far as wiring it in and stuff goes, I will actually make a video about that, because like I said, I have no secrets to keep from the community. I will show you guys how I wired it up. Hopefully nobody has to wire it up in the future. Jake is also working on a plug-and-play harness, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, you guys, I believe I touched base on most of the subjects on the car. I know there's a lot of detail that I left out, but this was just meant to be like an introductory video. I'm going to make a lot more detailed videos starting this week. This week I will release the fuel system conversion and the parts list. I'm also going to attach the parts list, which a lot of people are asking me about the parts list, so I'm finally making one, and I'm going to attach it to the next video so everybody can look it up. Alright, you guys, if you have any questions about the 2.8 liter platform, or if you're in need of a tune, whether it's a stage 1 tune on a stock car all the way to full blown, you see what I have right here behind me, just hit me up on Pager's Performance and we'll get you taken care of.